I was 73, pushing my cart through the cereal aisle at Kroger in Columbus, Ohio. My grandson Tyler, 8 years old, peeked around the corner with his sister Emma, 14. They were with their mother Veronica. Tyler stopped. He whispered to Emma, "Mom, that lady looks like Grandma." Emma looked at me, then at Veronica. Veronica snapped, "We don't need her anymore." The oatmeal box slipped from my hands. It hit the floor. Emma turned at the sound. Her face showed recognition, then confusion, then doubt. "Grandma," she said, voice small. I couldn't speak. I nodded, tears falling. Tyler peeked from behind Emma. "But Mom said you moved to Florida. She said you didn't want to be bothered." I lived 12 miles away. I had lived 12 miles away for 6 years, since my son Michael and Veronica bought the house on Maple Creek Drive. The house I gave them the down payment for $62,000. Handed over with a smile. A prayer we'd be close. I'd watch the kids grow up. Sunday dinners would be our tradition. I hadn't seen my grandchildren in 14 months. Not because I didn't want to. Every call, Veronica answered, "Kids are busy." Every visit request, Michael texted, "Not a good time." Every birthday card unacknowledged. Every Christmas gift unopened. I thought they were pulling away. I thought I'd done something wrong. I never imagined they were telling my grandchildren I abandoned them. Emma stepped closer. Her eyes scanned my face. "You really live here in Columbus?" "Sweetie, I live in Westerville, 20 minutes from your house. Always have." Her face crumpled. Betrayal. She was 14, old enough to understand. "They lied to us," she whispered. Veronica appeared at the end of the aisle. Her face tightened. Dressed impeccably, cream blazer, designer jeans, blonde hair and ponytail. "Kids, let's go," she said, voice clipped. "We're running late." Veronica grabbed Tyler's hand, shot Emma a look. Now, Emma hesitated. One moment, then mouthed words to me. "I'm sorry." I stood there long after they left. Long enough for an employee to ask if I needed help. Long enough for an elderly man to pick up the oatmeal box and hand it to me. Long enough for the shock to settle into something harder. I drove home on autopilot, pulled into the driveway of the house Harold and I shared for 34 years. He'd been gone 7 years, heart attack. Some days I still expected to hear him call my name. Today the silence felt intentional. I sat at the kitchen table, opened my laptop. 4 years I kept records, a habit from my librarian days. Banking statements, numbers told a story I refused to read. Michael's mortgage $2,000 for $100 a month. I covered them after he lost his job 3 years ago. He found a new job in 6 months. Payments never stopped. Emma's private school tuition $18,000 a year. Veronica said public school wasn't safe. 4 years $72,000. Tyler's speech therapy $800 a month for 3 years. He didn't need it anymore. Payments still going. Emergency loan for Veronica's car $15,000 never repaid. Medical bills for Michael's appendix. Vacation fund, new roof. New appliances. I added it up 3 times. $340,000 in 6 years in return. They told my grandchildren I didn't love them. I closed the laptop, walked to the window. Sunset painted the backyard in gold. Harold planted Emma's tree the year she was born. Never saw her climb it. Oh, I picked up my phone, called Michael. It rang 4 times. "Mom, hey. I'm in the middle of something." I saw Emma and Tyler today at Kroger. Silence. A long silence. "Oh," he said finally. "How are they?" "They thought I lived in Florida, Michael. They thought I didn't want to see them." More silence. That's just something Veronica told them. You know how kids are. They don't understand adult stuff. It was just easier. My voice sharper. Easier to make your children think their grandmother abandoned them. Easier than what, Michael? Letting me visit. Returning my calls. Mom, you don't understand the pressure we're under. Veronique's family. They have expectations. And you're just different from what she's used to. Different. I was different. Second-hand furniture. Practical clothes. Career teaching children to love books. I was embarrassing to them. Let me make sure I understand. I said slowly, I'm too different to see my grandchildren, but I'm not too different to pay for their private school, or your mortgage, or your wife's car. That's not fair. You're right. It isn't. I hung up. That night I didn't sleep. Sat in Harold's recliner with chamomile tea that went cold. Thought about all the ways I made this possible. Every yes when I should have said no. Every check instead of questions. Every time I confused being needed with being loved. Harold would have seen through it. He was practical. Asked why before handing over his wallet. But Harold was gone. I had spent the years since his death trying to fill the hole by being useful. By being the mother who never said no, never pushed back, never demanded to be treated like a person instead of a bank account. In the morning I made 2 phone calls. First to my bank, sat in the consultation room, reviewed recurring transfers. 1 hour, 4 pages of summary. Patricia didn't comment on amounts, but her eyebrows rose. Would you like to make changes? Yes. Cancel everything going to these accounts. Michael's mortgage, tuition, therapy, miscellaneous transfers. She hesitated. Are you sure? I signed. No shake in my hand, no guilt. Just clarity. Second call to my lawyer, Diana Cho. I need to update my will. Significant changes. We met the next afternoon, I explained. Everything to trust for Emma and Tyler, not through Michael, not until 18. You're removing your son entirely. My son has received his inheritance already. 340,000. This is for my grandchildren. For their future. Not for Veronique's shopping. Not for Michael's inability to say no. Diana nodded and made notes. Before I left, she looked up. Most people wait too long to do this. They keep hoping things change. Things did change. Just not the way I expected. Michael called that evening. I let it ring. He called again next morning. Afternoon, voicemails shifted. He confused, irritated, frantic, double quotes mom. Mortgage payment didn't go through. School saying tuition not paid. What's going on? Call me back. Mom, seriously, I don't know what point you're trying to make. This is affecting the kids. Think about Emma and Tyler. Veronica is furious. She says you're trying to ruin us. Is that what you want? To ruin your own family? I listened once. Deleted them. Not out of cruelty. Out of recognition. This was the sound of a man who never learned consequences. On the 4th day, Emma called. I answered first ring. Grandma, her voice tentative. I'm here, sweetheart. I'm sorry about what happened at the store. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I know you didn't. None of this is your fault. A pause. Then Mom and Dad are fighting. Dad keeps saying you cut them off. He says you're being selfish. I took a deep breath. Emma, do you know what selfish means? Yeah, it's when you only care about yourself. For 6 years, I've been paying for your school, your dad's house, your mom's car, 100 other things. And for 14 months, they told you I didn't want to see you. They kept me away from you, from Tyler. Who do you think was being selfish? Silence. Then softly, them. I don't want to put you in the middle. That's not fair to you. But I want you to know the truth. I never stopped loving you. I never stopped wanting to see you. Not for one single day. She was crying now. Can I come see you? Of course. Anytime. This is your grandmother's house. You are always welcome. We made plans for Saturday. She would tell parents. She was going to a friend's house. I would pick her up at Starbucks on Main Street. I didn't love the deception, but I wasn't willing to let Veronica stand between me and my grandchildren ever again. On Saturday morning, I woke early, baked blueberry muffins, set out old photo albums, pictures of Harold holding Emma as a baby, Tyler taking first steps in my living room, Christmases and birthdays, ordinary Sundays that became precious. When I pulled up to Starbucks, Emma was waiting outside with Tyler. She looked older than 14, carrying something heavy. But when she saw my car, she smiled. And for a moment, she was my little Emma again. The girl who called me Gamma because she couldn't pronounce our Tyler climbed into the back seat, clutching a worn stuffed elephant I gave him for his 3rd birthday. I kept it, he said, holding it up. Mom tried to throw it away, but I hid it. My heart cracked open in the Starbucks parking lot. We spent the day doing nothing special and everything important. Baked cookies, played board games, looked through photos. Emma asked questions about Harold, things she was too young to remember, but old enough to want to know. Tyler climbed Emma's tree, declared it the best tree he'd ever seen. At one point, Emma sat beside me on the porch swing, watching her brother play in the yard. Grandma, why do you think they did it? Kept us apart. I thought about this question for days. Still didn't have perfect answer. I think your mom was embarrassed by me. I'm not fancy like her family. I worked at a school. I drive an old car. I don't have the right clothes or opinions. And I think your dad got so caught up in keeping her happy that he forgot about everything else. That's really sad. It is. But here's what I've learned, sweetheart. You can't make someone love you by being useful. You can't buy a place in someone's heart. You shouldn't have to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's life. She leaned her head on my shoulder. I missed you, Grandma. I missed you too. More than you'll ever know. When I drove them back that evening, Emma hugged me long time in the parking lot. Can we do this again next week? Every week. If you want. I want. Michael showed up at my house the following Tuesday. I saw him pull into the driveway, sitting in his car for 5 minutes before getting out. He looked tired, older than 42, shoulders hunched. I met him on the porch. Didn't invite him in. Mom, we need to talk about this. About what, Michael? The money. The payments. We're in trouble. The school is threatening to kick Emma out. The bank is calling about the mortgage. Veronica is talking about selling the house. That sounds like a lot of problems. You can't just cut us off like this. After everything, you can't just disappear. I looked at my son, really looked. The boy who brought me dandelions from the backyard. The teenager who held my hand at Harold's funeral. The man who traded integrity for comfort. I didn't disappear. Michael, I was right here. 12 miles away. You told my grandchildren I moved to Florida. You told them I didn't want to see them. You took my money and you took my family and you thought I'd never find out. His face reddened. That was Veronique's idea? I never wanted. You let it happen. That's the same thing. He had no response. His mouth opened and closed, no words came out. I'm not angry, I said. I meant it. The anger had burned through me, left something cleaner. But I'm done pretending that what we had was a relationship. It was a transaction, and the transaction is over. So what? You're just going to abandon us. I'm going to love my grandchildren. I'm going to be here for them whenever they need me. And you, Michael, you're going to figure out how to live your own life without my checkbook. That's not abandonment. That's respect. For myself. He stared at me long moment. I don't know what he saw in my face, but whatever. It was made him take a step back. You've changed, he said almost accusingly. No, I just remembered who I was. He left without another word. I watched his car disappear down the street. I felt relief, not happiness, not victory, just relief. Like setting down a weight I had been carrying so long. I forgot it wasn't part of me. The next few months were not easy. Emma told me about fights at home. Veronique's fury. Michael's helpless silence. They had to sell the house. Moved to an apartment across town. Veronica got a job for the first time in 15 years. Michael stopped calling me entirely. But every Saturday, Emma and Tyler came to see me. Sometimes Emma stayed overnight, sleeping in the guest room I prepared for her with fresh sheets and stack of books. Tyler started calling me Gamma again. Each time he said it, something in my chest grew warmer. On Emma's 15th birthday, I gave her a letter. Inside was explanation of the trust I set up, how it would be waiting for her when she turned 18. How it was meant for her future, her education, her dreams, whatever those might be. She read it twice, looked up at me. Grandma, this is a lot of money. It's not about the money. It's about making sure you have choices, real choices, the kind that don't depend on anyone else's approval. She hugged me in her arms. I felt something I thought I had lost forever. Hope. Real stubborn blooming hope. Last week I planted tulips in the front yard. Reds and yellows and deep purples. The kind that will come up in spring. Remind me that things grow, things change. Things begin again. A neighbor walking her dog stopped to compliment them. It's going to be beautiful when they bloom. It already is, I told her. That evening I sat on the porch swing, watching the sunset paint the sky in colors I didn't have names for. The house was quiet, but it wasn't lonely anymore. It was full of me, my books, my memories, my choices, my peace. I thought about the woman I had been, the one who mistook being needed for being loved, who wrote checks instead of asking questions, who shrank herself to fit into spaces that were never meant for her. I didn't hate her. I had compassion for her. But I wasn't her anymore. My phone buzzed. A text from Emma. Gamma, can we make muffins again on Saturday? Tyler won't stop talking about them. I smiled and typed back. Already bought the blueberries. For the first time in longer than I can remember, I went to bed not waiting for anyone, not hoping for anyone, not needing anyone to tell me I mattered. I already knew. If you're listening to this and someone has made you feel like a footnote in your own story, like a checkbook with a heartbeat, like someone who can be hidden and used and forgotten, I want you to hear me. You are not too old to start over. You are not too kind to demand respect. You are not too loving to set boundaries. The people who truly love you will never ask you to become invisible, and if they do, you don't owe them your light. Walk away from the bus stop. Step off the porch, close the door gently, and mean it. You were never meant to wait in the dark for someone to remember you. You were always meant to shine. Asterisk, if this story touched your heart, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so we can share more stories together. Comment below. Where are you watching from tonight? I read every single one. Thank you for being here with me. You deserve to be seen, heard, and loved just as you are.